The story begins in a central jail with a man named Dwight, who had been serving time there for nearly 25 years and had grown to be 75 years old. On this day, he was finally about to be granted bail. A large vehicle arrived to take him from the jail, and soon he found himself inside a massive mansion, once home to the city's biggest mafia family. Dwight had worked for the family's leader, known as The Rock, and together they had built this mafia empire from scratch. Upon entering the mansion, Dwight was warmly welcomed by The Rock and Chickie. During their conversation, Dwight learned that because The Rock had grown old, Chickie was now running all the operations. It also became clear that the crime Dwight had been jailed for was actually committed by Chickie, but Dwight had taken the blame to protect him. Dwight expected that in return for his sacrifice, either Chickie or The Rock would reward him with control over a large territory. However, Chickie suspected Dwight was very smart and could easily expand his business beyond theirs. So, he deliberately sent Dwight to Tulsa, a small town, to grow his business there. This angered Dwight because Tulsa was a tiny village with little chance for business growth. Chickie's right-hand man, Simon, got angry at Dwight's reaction. In a flash of anger, Dwight punched Simon in front of everyone. Though the mansion's guards pointed guns at Dwight, The Rock, who was a close friend, intervened and calmed the situation. Reluctantly, Dwight left for Tulsa. At Tulsa's airport, Dwight met Tyson, a cab driver, who admired Dwight's mafia-like appearance but was unaware of Dwight's past as a real mafia kingpin. On their way to the hotel, Dwight noticed a marijuana shop with a big sign claiming it sold all kinds of cannabis. This shocked Dwight because he had never encountered such openly legal marijuana. Tyson explained that selling cannabis was completely legal in Tulsa, exciting Dwight. Dwight gave Tyson some money to wait outside and went inside the shop. When he directly asked the workers about the owner, a security guard became aggressive, but Dwight threw a bottle at him in anger. At that moment, the owner, Buddy, came out. Though Buddy initially thought Dwight had come to rob him, Dwight convinced him to let him inside the office. Dwight reviewed Buddy's finances and discovered Buddy kept most of his cash in a safe at the office. Since Dwight wanted control over the business, he demanded 20% of Buddy's weekly earnings as protection money. Buddy was hesitant but agreed after Dwight promised to grow his business and provide security. Dwight immediately took his share and paid Tyson his first salary of $2,000 per week, also instructing Tyson to buy a black Navigator for himself. Tyson happily left to buy the car. Exploring the town, Dwight found Mitch's bar, where patrons admired his look. Dwight arranged free rum for them and talked with Mitch. After some time, Dwight returned to rest at the hotel. The following morning, Tyson arrived with a different car because Tony, a showroom owner, had refused to sell the black vehicle to Tyson due to his skin color and insulted him. Enraged, Dwight visited Tony's showroom with Tyson, beat Tony severely, and warned him never to refuse Tyson again. They then enjoyed ice cream at a nearby mall. At the mall, a man named Emmon saw Dwight and was shocked, discreetly watching him. Dwight ignored this and went to meet Buddy again. After discussing business, Dwight decided to approach Buddy's supplier to increase profits and advise Buddy not to keep large sums of money in the shop. Buddy was suspicious but did not argue. Dwight instructed Tyson to move his belongings to a large hotel and return to Mitch's bar to learn more about him. Mitch used to be a bull rider but turned to running a bar after multiple arrests due to drug addiction reduced his popularity. As they talked, a woman named Stacy entered the bar, impressed by Dwight's cool attitude. She invited him and her friends to a party, and Dwight took them to a big strip club. When someone started harassing one of Stacy's friends there, Dwight intervened violently, earning Stacy's admiration. The two later went to a hotel and made out, but Stacy grew shy and left after learning Dwight's age. However, Dwight remained indifferent, focused on his growing income in Tulsa. The next day, Stacy arrived at the FBI office and was informed about a dangerous criminal recently released from prison who had come to Tulsa. When she saw his photo, she was shocked to recognize him as Dwight. Unaware of this, Dwight thought about contacting his daughter after 25 years of no communication. He had even prevented her visits to jail to protect her from his enemies. Diet found out his daughter had married and had twins. However, to get her contact information, he needed to pay a $10 fee online, which frustrated him. To lift his mood, he went to a nearby cafe where he met Spencer. Annoyed by the coffee cups, Diet made Spencer replace them before leaving. Meanwhile, Stacy sought more information about Diet and learned he was imprisoned 25 years ago for killing 2 people. Despite many attacks in jail, Diet had survived by teaching his enemies harsh lessons. Stacy's FBI colleague suspected Stacy had been romantically involved with Diet recently, so Stacy changed the topic and went to see her therapist. Stacy's personal life was troubled, recently divorced due to her husband cheating and abusing her, leading to her mental struggles. Back at Tulsa, Simon remained angry at Diet for striking him and sought revenge. He spoke to Chickie, but Chickie, knowing Diet was the Rock's close friend, avoided direct involvement. Diet met Tyson, who suggested opening a bank account and easily obtained Diet a debit card. Diet took his 20% cut from Buddy and went to the bank, only to find he required a valid driver's license. His was expired for 20 years. Deciding to get a new license, Diet took a learner's test the next day. Nervous, he copied answers from a nearby boy during the test and posed dramatically for his license photo, as if creating a criminal identity. Though his real driving test was 2 weeks away, impatient Diet bribed the receptionist to reschedule it within 2 days. Using his learner's license, Diet successfully made his credit card. Diet told Chickie about the Tulsa business, mentioning he had to pay Chickie a cut. He also learned Simon was still angry, but after promising to pay him $100,000, Simon calmed down. While returning to his hotel, Diet met Stacy again, who revealed she was an FBI officer. Diet believed Stacy wasn't on his case, so he wasn't worried, though Stacy warned him against crime. Tyson was happy working with Diet, though his parents disapproved, wanting him to focus on studies. Tyson ignored them and started washing Diet's car. Diet was determined to close a big deal with Jamie, a major marijuana grower with a large farm near Tulsa. Diet made an offer to distribute 300 bags monthly in New York, pricing the bags variably. Jamie accepted the deal, pleased by Diet's protection and the lower cost. After the deal, Diet experienced a hangover, but enjoyed Jamie's high-quality marijuana and easygoing attitude. Meanwhile, Emin learned where Diet was staying and grew angry, but Diet was unaware. Diet obtained his daughter Tina's phone number and called her, but Tina angrily rejected him. Hurt, Diet went for a walk, blaming himself while looking at the sky. The FBI team, including Stacy, went to arrest a criminal named Ron, but he refused to come out. Ron's boss, Colin, instructed Ron that he wouldn't escape the FBI this time. Stacy misunderstood this and sent Colin away. In retaliation, Ron released his dogs and blew up his house with bombs, frightening Stacy. Diet returned to Spencer's cafe, where he saw the same beautiful horse again. Spencer told him the horse belonged to a nearby ranch, where it was let loose every morning. Inspired, Diet practiced driving with Tyson and advised Tyson to see their work as a side business, staying focused on education and a proper job, which Tyson agreed to. At Buddy's shop, many kids were sniffing balloons filled with nitrous oxide, selling them for profit. This was a territory belonging to another gang. Buddy was not allowed to sell balloons there, or rival gangs would harass him. Diet promised to sell many balloons at the festival and enlisted Mitch, who could easily procure nitrous oxide cylinders, into his plan. Diet's driving test was to be conducted by Bob, who was glad to test an older man after working mostly with nervous young drivers. During the test, Emmond, who disliked Diet's presence in Tulsa, followed Diet in a masked car and shot at him. Diet saved himself and Bob, but was forced to chase Emmond. Diet rammed Emmond's car, but Emmond escaped. Blood pouring from Bob's head, Diet wrote Emmond's car number on his own vehicle. Police arrived and took Diet to the station, suspecting an old enemy was trying to kill him. Diet believed the attack was retaliation for Bob failing some drivers, so he understood the motive. After police left, Emmond, frightened Diet survived, burned his car to destroy evidence. Stacy learned about Diet's time at the police station and bailed him out. They spent some relaxed time in a hotel room, where Stacy revealed she used to work in the New York Police Department but was transferred to Tulsa because of the 1991 case. Dwight suspected Simon ordered the attack, but Chickie disagreed. Dwight warned Chickie he wouldn't spare him if either Simon or Chickie was behind it. Stacy found out that Colin was the leader of the Black Adam Bakar gang and that Ron worked for him. Ron had many criminal charges but was untouchable until now. Stacy aimed to find evidence to imprison Colin forever. Dwight visited Bob in the hospital, who had now learned Dwight's true identity. Dwight gave Bob money to help find Emmons' car location, which Bob agreed to do quickly. Dwight then met Tyson at a cafe, paid him generously because Tyson had already been attacked once, and told Tyson to buy a new navigator. Meanwhile, Stacy investigated Ron's bombed house, but found only a dog, whom she adopted out of sympathy. Bob sent Dwight the car's location, but the vehicle was not registered to Emmett. However, Dwight found a burnt cloth inside with a Range logo, meaning the attacker worked for Range. Dwight met Margaret, Range's owner, who said she employed 300 men all in identical uniforms. Margaret warmed to Dwight's strong manner. At home, Tyson pretended to have a gun, worrying his parents. Mark, Tyson's father, was upset and reminded Tyson of their investment in his education. Tyson rebelled by throwing money, and Mark angrily kicked him out. Tyson went to Mitch's bar. Dwight waited outside Day Trench to catch Emmons' departure from Range when Stacy called about the dog. Emmons left just then, so Dwight told Stacy he was busy and went to follow Emmons. Dwight found Emmons' family, baffled why such family man would attack him. Dwight took no action and Emmons continued his routine. The next day, Emmons found his neighbor's dog had left waste in his garden again. Weak and timid, he wanted to confront the neighbor, but chickened out. Dwight appeared, held Emmons at gunpoint, and took him home for interrogation. Emmons accused Dwight of coming to Tulsa to kill him. Dwight was shocked since he knew nothing of such intentions. Emmons explained he used to work under the Rock, but was betrayed when the Rock tried to have Dwight killed in jail out of fear Dwight would rat on Chickie. Realizing this, Emmons left the gang and became a peaceful man in Tulsa. He suspected Rock or Chickie sent him to kill Dwight, but Dwight clarified his real reason for coming to Tulsa. Dwight accepted Emmons into his team, but demanded $300 per week compensation for the earlier attack, which Emmons reluctantly accepted. Emmons' wife arrived, so Dwight left. She cared for her husband, who was still recovering. Dwight then visited Mitch, who had ordered 30 nitrous oxide cylinders as promised. Dwight told Booty and Tyson to sell the cylinders at the festival. Though Booty was initially scared, he complied, and their business flourished. Two members of the Bakar gang threatened them to stop selling, but Tyson intimidated them, and they backed off, leaving Dwight's group as the sole sellers. Booty and Tyson earned a lot of money. Emmons bravely confided his past to his wife, shocking her, as she had always believed him to be a good man. She urged Emmons to move to another city, but he was uncertain. The next morning, Tyson happily gave Dwight all the money from last night's sales. Dwight rewarded Tyson with a ring once gifted by The Rock, though Dwight no longer felt sentimental about it, knowing The Rock's true nature. Colin had learned about the previous night's incident and brutally killed two gang members responsible for allowing the balloon sales. A woman named Rocky, Colin's right-hand woman, knew all about Colin's affairs. Dwight missed Tina and called his sister, Jonah, who revealed that Dwight's older brother, Joey, was in poor health and soon to pass away. Jonah and Tina were planning to visit Joey. Dwight wanted to come, but Jonah advised against it, saying Tina didn't want him there and would cause unnecessary drama. Dwight agreed. Later that night, Booty and Tyson were attacked and beaten by Bakar gang members near the festival. They lost their money and cylinders. Enraged, Dwight planned to attack Colin's gang to reclaim his property and money. He called Emmons and Chimmy to prepare for the fight. Tyson rested at home where his mother attended him, but his father Mark warned him to stay away from such trouble. Tyson ignored him, recalling all the money spent on his education. Mark, angry at Tyson's attitude, kicked him out. Tyson went to Mitch's bar. Soon, Diet and his team prepared to attack Colin's den, rejecting Mitch's offer to join because Mitch had previously been jailed and didn't want to risk his freedom. Jamie arrived with his caretaker to join the team. Mark unexpectedly showed up and asked Diet to stop his son from involvement, as he had been badly beaten by gang members. Diet said they were only retrieving what was owed. Mark decided to join too. At the gang's den, Diet armed his men with sticks and led a brutal assault, driving off every Bakar gang member visible. Mark fiercely protected Tyson, while Emmond and Diet delivered heavy blows. After reclaiming their money, supplies, and honor, the group returned to Mitch's bar. Diet tried to pay Mark for his help, but Mark refused, trusting Tyson to stay safe with Diet. He told Tyson to come home on time before leaving. Diet reminded Emmond about the $300 weekly fee Emmond owed him. Stacy returned to a bar where she met a man she immediately liked and invited home for a workout session. At home, Diet received a video call from Jonah showing their dying brother Joey. Diet became emotional, recalling their childhood mischiefs and how Joey often protected him from punishment. After Joey's passing, Diet decided to go to New York alone to attend the funeral. Meanwhile, Emmond noticed his neighbor's dog had again pooped in his garden. He angrily confronted the neighbor wearing shoes, seen by his wife, who was shocked at his changed behavior. Emmond declared he would not leave the city or fear anyone anymore. At Joey's funeral, Diet felt comforted after speaking with Jonah, but detected hate in Tina's eyes. He later learned from Jonah about Tina's husband Amory, who was a good man with a successful finance business, and that Tina owned a flower shop and cared for their 2 children. Meanwhile, Colin sent one of his men to police officers they bribed to arrest Tyson without a warrant. Tyson, caught with Diet's car, tried calling Diet from the police station, but Diet was busy at the funeral and could not answer. Then, Chickie called Diet angrily upon learning Diet was in New York. Chickie ordered Diet to visit a hospital where The Rock was admitted. Diet told Chickie he was at his brother's funeral, but Chickie did not care. Now, do you want me to continue with the second part of this story? Would you prefer me to keep the same detailed style? Want to know what happens next? Comment next part below.